Hey, what's up everyone? Flex and Joe back with another trade review, and today we're going to be talking about Tesla puts. So today is Valentine's Day, right? And Tesla is one of the tickers I love to trade. So what did we see here going into the open, right? So I know this is the 1 minute chart here, but on the 5 minute chart, you can see that we gapped up, okay? So here's the close, right? Here's the open. We did gap up overnight. You can see we gapped right here, and this was your pre-market low and your pre-market high. So we gapped up overnight, and we were pushing, and we pushed over the pre-market high. And let's get down to the 1 minute chart, which is how I took this trade. So getting down to the 1 minute chart, you can see here that we pushed up over the pre-market high and we were rejected. And I waited for the second push, and we got that second push over pre-market high, and I wasn't sure I was going to get it. We rejected, we made a little bit of a higher high here, and then we rejected hard and came all the way back down. So once we came back down and I saw that, I did jump in to the 185 puts. So the reason I took 185 is that it was the strike closest to the money, and I felt like we were going to come down here and break the low of day, which would put these in the money, and then they would start accumulating delta, which means accumulating more value faster. So, and I like the price point on them, got in at 2.5, set the bid and was hit. And then you can see, obviously, within the next couple of candles, we moved around a little bit, and then I was able to, on this candle actually, so we had fell quite a bit, got a scale for $30, and then on the same candle, got the $50 scale, right? So back to back. And then continued to trim some off, right? As we approached, this is the close yesterday, this red line, so it did scale right around here at the pre-market low break, and then you can see again right around the close from the prior day. I had an order set higher, and I ended up moving it back down to get scaled out there at $100 a contract, because we were right around that close. I had an order sitting higher that I thought we might hit when we hit that close, and we didn't quite go that high. And then you can see that we swept down below yesterday's close, and we proceeded to make a pretty strong move up. Now, I held, after this fourth scale here, I was down to literally just one contract. So I held that into this pullback, which is right at the open of the day, and then it faded off again. When it faded off, and it made this candle pattern here where you have a big, 1 minute bearish candle, and then the next one is a tight-bodied candle, and then we flip back. Once we break lower, then we start to flip back. I thought this move is probably done for, so I moved the stop up from a break-even stop to up here, and I really was just watching it. And I think technically my stop was at 320, and I just lost that 6 cents there for slippage, but it's okay. From there, you can see that obviously it was a good stop, and these contracts really lost a lot of value, right? But then we get to where I took the second trade. So you can see here we broke over the high of day, and we really looked like we were having trouble sustaining it. And that's where I did jump in to the same puts again at a much lower entry. And then from there, as we continued to break down, I scaled out along the way. So I ended up taking a scale here, and we broke down and basically touched by the open and the VWAP here, and you can see we pulled back pretty hard. I held, it didn't come back to my entry, so it stayed green. But once we got back to the same area again, which was actually this candle, so if you notice, this candle was actually a little bit higher, the price was a little bit higher, but we hit the same value area where I scaled out, so I was happy to trim more off. I felt like the market rarely gives second chances, so I was happy to take off more for profit there. I scaled again here. This dash line, this little thin dash line, is the exact middle of the orb high, the orb to the orb low. So orb being the first 30 minutes of the day. This is the orb high to the orb low. I've been calling this the quote-unquote belly button of the day because it's right in the middle. And I've noticed that this can be an inflection point on most tickers, so I said, hey, you know what, we're right here, I'm going to take some more off. So I trimmed off a little bit more here for just under 60 a con, so that was pretty good. Got a scale here for about a little more than 80 a con as we broke down again through the pre-market low, and then once we hit the close. So at this point, I have 2 contracts left, and I was like, I was on voice with the group, and I said, I should probably scale here. We're right back to the close of yesterday. And I wasn't sure if we were going to get another bounce, what you'll see in a second, or if we were going to continue. But regardless, I felt like, it's a key point. Let me trim one of those 2 contracts off, and I accidentally sold them both, literally at 335, and I'm going to show you the fill. But and the fill will pop up here on the screen. I'll show you guys the picture. And then from there, you can see, look what these contracts did in value. They just went down from there, right? They just kept going down. And I'll go to like a 10-minute chart. I mean, this was where I was accidentally all out. So you can see my entry almost at the bottom, my exit damn near the top. So bottom ticked, top ticked. It can't get much better than that, even if it was an accidental success, right? And just looking at the Tesla chart, this is the area that I was talking about where I was out. And now you can see in after hours, it's just going absolutely crazy. So glad I didn't hold. I'm glad I accidentally got out, and I'll take that accidental success any day I can. Any questions or comments, hit me up down below, and I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.